Mr. Gale, you have any closing commissioner comments?
I do. This is it for us. When I was 25 years old, I had this crazy idea that I was going to run for Montgomery County Commissioner. And a lot of people told me I was crazy. And I did it in a way that I'm not aware of anyone ever seeking that position the way I did it. And it wasn't easy. I had to work extremely hard. I had to make a lot of sacrifices. And I had to have strong faith in order to accomplish that goal and to be twice elected to this position. And it's been an incredible experience. It's been an honor to serve the public. I got to know the residents of Montgomery County extremely well over the last 8 years. And I can't thank them enough for placing their faith in me to serve on this board. And I remember when I first started running for this position, I guess it was February of 2015, my father was out of town on business. I think he was in California. It's different time zones. And I called him, and I said, boy, Dad, it's really heating up here. He knew I was thinking about running. I said, I'm pissing a lot of people off. I said, I'm not seeking the endorsement of the Republican Party. They're trying to pressure me, get me out of the race. They're going to tell me I'm going to ruin my life. I said, do you think I'm doing the right thing? And he paused for a moment, and he said, Joe, when I was 25, I wouldn't know how to get on the ballot for county commissioner. There's no way it's going to ruin your life. Just give it your best, and if you lose, it's not the end of the world. And that went a long way over the years, that conversation that I had with my father. And I gave it my best. I listened to what he had to say. I knew it was a long shot. Scientifically, I was never supposed to win any of my races over the years. But I started connecting with the residents across Montgomery County. And typically, people that run for office seek the support of the political establishment. They get the party bosses behind them. They have the apparatus of the party, get them on the ballot. I had none of that support whatsoever. And I started going door to door to collect signatures to get my name on the ballot. So those of you watching wonder how you do this. You get signatures to get your name placed on the ballot. And the winter of 2015 was a very cold winter. There was a lot of snow. And I couldn't go to political cocktail parties and fundraisers where I was an outcast, all the people I'm running against. I had to get the voters, the people, to sign and have my name put on the ballot. So I trekked through the snow. I remember it was so cold, I was painful knocking on the doors, but because of the snow, people were home, and they found it interesting. I said, I'm running for Montgomery County Commissioner. I'm Joe Gale. I don't have the support of the Republican Party, but I think you should have a choice instead of the party establishment determining who represents you on the Board of Commissioners. And the response was basically, hell yeah, sign me up, give me that petition. I admire what you're doing. This is unique, it's different. I've never had anybody come to my door and do something like this. And from that moment, we built momentum. I started engaging even more with the public through a series of meet and greets called A Cup of Joe, which was a catchy phrase for a coffee clutch. For over 8 years, I had over 1,000 Cup of Joes, which as I look back, I don't know how I physically ever did that. It was a lot of time commitment, but obviously they were very effective because they were the key to my success politically. And I went to people's homes. They opened up their home to me, invited their friends and neighbors to come hear what I have to say, share my background, my vision for the future of the county, what I was trying to do. And night after night, there were people that would fill a living room. And I was energized by it. And I got to know the people of this county. Like I said, I didn't go to political functions and events. I earned the support of the public, and they put me in this seat. And I can't thank them enough for doing that. My Cup of Joe hosts were people busy raising a family, running a business. They weren't, as I call them, political hacks or involved in inside political baseball. They were normal, hardworking citizens of this county. And organically it grew, where one Cup of Joe would lead to another. People in attendance would host one. And I never saw anyone do anything similar to that. And that's how I was able to pull off my upsets. Every time I ran, it was a David and Goliath battle. I had the entire system stacked against me. I remember the first interview I did on Hank Sisko's TV show at the Norristown High School was the former Norristown ambassador. He gives everybody this big introduction people in this room have been on his show, but you feel like you're on top of the world when he introduces you. But he says this guy was the Rocky Balboa in Montgomery County. He was an underdog. He overcame the odds, and he won. And I was also the youngest ever elected to the position. So during my tenure here, it wasn't easy. I was outnumbered as a minority commissioner 2-1 very often, but it certainly built my character, and I developed a unique skill set that I look forward to using in the next phase of my life. All the negativity that I had to deal with, I actually don't look at it as a negative. In fact, it might sound crazy, but I thank those that have worked against me over the years. In any capacity they may have been, whether that was in the form of governing, whether that was in the campaigns, people that challenged me, ran against me, that worked tirelessly to stop it and try to defeat me, they made me a better person. They improved my work ethic, and they gave me a backbone that's very solid, I have to say. And at a young age, I was able to develop all those qualities, and I'm grateful that it happened while I was young. Because if it was later in life and I had children and a family of my own, it would be absolutely impossible to do what I did. So I look forward to the next chapter where I can use that skill set in my career and my personal life. And people sometimes ask me, Joe, is it done for you politically? I say, I'm 34 years old. I don't know anyone in my peer group that even considers running for any type of office or getting involved in any civics, honestly. I developed a big network. I developed a lot of name recognition, relationships, and that's valuable no matter what I do in life. But politically, I could come back 30 years from now and still run for an office, which is unheard of. So I'm excited about the future. I wish Montgomery County well. I wish the staff and the employees success in the future. I might not have always been the most popular on the 8th floor of Montgomery Plaza with county staff, but there's been a countless number of county employees, just your average employee in this county, that over the years have given me the encouragement that helps me do what I've done over the last 8 years. Whether you're an employee who grabbed me by the arm in the hallway and said, "You have guts, I admire you, don't back down, keep being outspoken." The employees that prayed over me privately, I really got to know them as well, and I appreciate their service to this county. I always credit the employees as the face of Montgomery County government, and so many of them do a great job, and I'm grateful to have gotten to know them. And I always say there's 3 main pillars in life as far as my outlook, and that's faith, family, and health. And in order to have a successful life, I believe you have to have strong faith, strong family, and strong health. And my faith is very important to me. I've had the outlook that God is in control. He has a plan for all of us. And if you have that faith where you know that ultimately God's in control, you can take risks and you can do things that you might shy away from otherwise. So I always had that outlook that He was in control, and that was very important to me. And family. I've often said that family is by far the most important component to a successful society. I know that because I'm a product of a strong family unit, and I recognize that, and I'm blessed to have come from a strong family. I'm the oldest of 3 children in my family. My brother and sister are twins. They're 2 years younger than me. I'm the youngest commissioner in the history of the county. My brother's an attorney, and my sister's a physician. So all 3 of us have had success at a young age, but that was a direct reflection of our parents. Our parents are remarkable individuals. I know my siblings would join me in saying that. I got to meet a lot of families over the years, as you can imagine, doing over 1,000 Cup of Joes. And obviously, everyone's biased and thinks they have the best parents, but I know that my parents are exceptional, and they raised us well, and they gave us, raised us with a skill set that anyone would need to achieve success, and I consider them a tremendous blessing as well. And when you do have a role like this, you drag your whole family through it. My colleagues know what that's like, I'm sure. Like I said, I didn't have a family of my own, but I did have siblings and parents that were very supportive of me, and it wasn't always easy on them, but without their support, it would never have been possible. And then health, obviously, that's easy because you can't enjoy life unless you have health. And sometimes this position can be stressful. I really didn't bother me. It bothered me if my family was affected by it or something like that, but it made me stronger. And like I said, I look forward to using this in the next chapter of my life. It's been a very valuable experience serving on this board, and I did my best over the years to be a voice for the voiceless. A lot of times people felt like they didn't have representation. I made it my best effort to make sure they had a voice, and frankly, it was a loud voice. I captured a lot of headlines over the years. Gale spars with XYZ. Gale clashes with XYZ. Gale fights with. I was described as a maverick, a fighter, a disruptor. But I set out to disrupt the status quo. I look out, I think Congress has an 11% approval rating or something like that. Maybe not in this room, but generally speaking, the overwhelming public has a dislike of politicians, of government. They believe it's corrupt. And at my Cup of Joe's, I wasn't talking about the bond rating and the millage rates and the budget. I addressed that, and I could go full-blown policy wonk and talk all about it. But I talked about the endless cycle of corruption and collusion, backroom deals, pay-to-play, connected the dots for people, and they never heard that anywhere else. But I was able to share that type of information with the public freely because I had complete independence. I was never elected with the support of the party. I was elected with the support of the people. So I believe I could be described as a populist in that sense, a conservative populist. I remember right around the Christmas of 2016 walking in the basement of the courthouse across the street, and Peggy Gibbons, who's a former reporter with the Intelligencer who sadly passed away years ago, but she was still here as a reporter at that time. I'm walking down the hallway, and I hear, she had a very distinct voice, if you knew Peggy Gibbons, "Commissioner Gale." I think, oh boy, she wants an interview. And we at times clashed over the years with her style of reporting that I wasn't fond of, but I let her know that. And she said, "I'd just like to speak with you for a moment." And she said, "I've been a courthouse reporter here at the Montgomery County Courthouse since, I don't remember now, 1971 or something like that. And I have to tell you, after watching your first year, watching your campaign, there was never a county commissioner like you." She said, "You're the definition of independent. You call out both parties. You're critical of what you consider to be their flaws of both sides. I've seen many minority commissioners." She starts naming them all. None of them executed on the role the way you do. And I found that interesting that someone that was here for so many years took note of that, and that moment was always special to me. I've had senior judges and now retired echo the same remarks as her, and I believe that I left my mark here in county politics. I was, like I said, a voice for the voiceless. I try to be a voice for common sense, a voice for fiscal responsibility, and I always use those three pillars of my faith, family, strong health, physical and mental wellness as my guide, and it was remarkable. So I'd like to wish the county well. Not going anywhere, but I do look forward to the next chapter, and I wish the employees and the next board success. Montgomery County is a great place to live, work, and raise a family. It's a huge county. It kept me very busy over the years, and I'm excited about its future. So from the bottom of my heart, everyone that made this a possibility, I thank you, and I just say God bless Montgomery County.